Welcome into Texans Today. Finally, it is finally the day I'm going to be grading your mock drafts. Yes, you. Yes, put the Cheetos down. I'm pointing at you. I'm just kidding. But everybody at home sent me their mock drafts on social media, and I plucked out about 9 or 10 of the best ones that I saw, and I'm going to be grading them here on today's show. So Texans fans mock drafts coming up for you here on Texans Today. Before we get going, if you want daily Texans videos, well, hey, you're in the right spot here at Texans Today. I give you daily Texans content all year long, not just during the regular season, off season, during the draft, free agency, anytime there's trades, going into OTAs, preseason, minicamp, everything, every step of the way, I got you covered here on Texans Today. I'm trying to get to 27,000 subscribers. I'm a little over 200 away, so if you could help me out, go down and hit that sub button. It's 100% free, and you get daily Texans content from yours truly, Mr. Jeremy Chuggs. Thank you for watching today's show, and let's get into it with the first mock draft sent to me by @Rosales_Texans on Twitter. Here we go. Let's see. He's got Deion Walker, the defensive tackle out of Kentucky, in round 1. I'd feel more comfortable going in round 2 with that. A little back-to-back. I don't know if it's reaches, but also Gray Zabel, the offensive tackle out of North Dakota State. Luke Lachey. I don't love going tight end early as well. The tight end out of Iowa, which, I mean, I guess if you're going to draft a tight end, Iowa's probably somewhat of a safe bet, maybe. Trevor Etienne, the running back from Georgia. I did hear that Jack Kaiser, the linebacker out of Notre Dame, which actually my producer, big Notre Dame guy, Jack Kaiser, good? Oh, amazing. I mean, I guess that's a steal right there at 167. I do know the Texans were talking to him at the Senior Bowl. And then Donovan Edwards, the running back, with that last pick. Decent mock draft. I'm going to give this one a B-. B-. Good stuff right there. Let's go on to the next one. Sent by Dat Boy Arillo on Twitter. Thank you to everybody who sent me your mock drafts, by the way, on social media. I really do appreciate it. Keep on doing that. Let me know what you think about this video. Here we go. He went Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver from Ohio State. With the first-round pick. Then he went tackle Cameron Williams out of Texas with the second-rounder. Elijah Arroyo. I've been seeing that as a popular pick among Texans fans. The tight end out of the U. I actually covered him here in Dallas. I did some high school football coverage. He's from Frisco. Was awesome in high school. Big-bodied, athletic tight end for Miami. Decent pick right there. Jared Wilson, the interior offensive lineman out of Georgia. Like that pick right there in the 4th round. Then he went Devin Neal. A little bit smaller, but a stocky running back is Devin Neal. I mean, reminds me of kind of like a Maurice Jones-Drew type, like, you know, doesn't look very big, is 5'9", 5'10", but can run you over. And then Brandon Adams, cornerback out of UCF. I would be completely lying to you if I could give you the great analysis of Brandon Adams yet from UCF. Once we do more draft coverage, I'll be able, once we get our draft guide out and I do a little bit more studying, I'll be able to tell you a little bit more about those 7th round picks. Don't hate this one. I'll give this one a B+. I like it. You go Cameron Williams early. If you go Cameron Williams, I'd like to move him into guard just because he's a little bit of a slower guy, and I like Blake Fisher at right tackle, so maybe the idea of moving Cameron Williams into right guard, but I don't hate it. You also get Jared Wilson, another, value pick later on. Talking about, offensive lineman, we went wide receiver in this mock with the first pick. What position do you think the Texans take with their first pick this year? I've seen offensive line. I've seen wide receiver. I've seen defensive line. I've even seen some people go tight end with that first pick. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. What position do you think the Texans take with their first pick in this year's draft? All right, next up, this one sent by Donnie Ray Murray on Twitter. He went another one, Emeka Egbuka, in the first round. He went with Gray Zabel in the second round. Some popular picks, as you see from some of the mock drafts that we've already gotten. Tez Johnson right here in the third, which a lot of people are comping Tez Johnson to Tank Dell. Similar stature, kind of that really fast, quick twitch wide receiver, really good route runner. Could be a decent option. We know Tank Dell probably won't be back for the rest of this year. Upton Stout, former University of North Texas Mean Green before he transferred over to Western Kentucky. A smaller safety. Think of Ardarius Washington with the Baltimore Ravens. You know, I believe he's like 5'9", 5'10", but good in coverage, but also, you know, once you're in the NFL, it's a very mixed bag whenever you have somebody with that stature, like a Meek Robertson, to say, you know, playing in the secondary, could get picked on up against larger wide receivers. And then he went, I'll attempt this one, Aeneas Peebles, defensive tackle out of Virginia Tech. I probably just made a complete fool of myself. Maybe an East-West Shrine Bowl moment right there. But, great pick. I do, like I said, I'm not sure on the later round picks just yet. This one, I don't mind this draft. I'll give this one a solid B, not minus or plus, just B across the board with this one. This next one sent in by the Alpino on Twitter. I don't know if Calvin Banks Jr. makes it to 25, but if he's there, yes. And I'm guessing you're maybe a Texas Longhorn fan because you went back-to-back Longhorns with Kelvin Banks Jr. and then Isaiah Bond at 58. I like Bond at 50. I like Isaiah Bond at 58. Maybe it seems a little bit too rich for me. You made it up a little bit by getting Kelvin Banks in the first, TJ Sanders in the third. Both those guys, if you're getting those guys at those picks, steals in this year's draft. Brashard Smith, running back from SMU. A lot of people like that kid out of SMU. The running back class is so deep. I wouldn't mind getting a running back in the 4th or 5th round. Ozzie Trapilo, offensive tackle from Boston College. And then you double dipped at the O-line, which I really like. I mean, I'm going to give this one an A-. I love this draft. Maybe, actually an A. I'll give this one an A. The likelihood, a little less, because I don't think Kelvin Banks makes it to you right there, and I don't know if TJ Sanders is there in the 3rd round, but, I mean, if this happens, I'm very happy for your Houston Texans. Speaking of your Houston Texans, it's the offseason. If you want to get some Texans merch, if you haven't gotten a jersey yet and you're like, damn, you know what? That summer check is about to hit. I'm going to drop it on a jersey. Well, I have just the deals for you. It's going to be in the comment section description of today's video. Just go to chatsports.com/Texans jerseys. That'll send you over to our friends over at Fanatics, where they have some pretty good deals going on right now. I saw some clearance deals on a couple different jerseys over there. So if you're like, hey, I want to get a jersey, it helps us out. If you go to this link right here, it'll tell Fanatics that we sent you over there. They have all the different jersey sizes, colors available. They have the red, they have the alternate jerseys, they have the white, they have the navy, and all different players as well. Maybe you want a Stroud, maybe you want to get a Jalen Petrie for whenever he comes back next year. I know they have Will Anderson Jr. Shout out to my guy Tank Dell. They have him there as well. All these available over at Fanatics. Just use our link, chatsports.com/Texans jersey. It'll send you right over there, and go get your latest Texans jersey today before the start of next season. So this next one up, I believe it's from No Perm. Yep, that's correct. This one is from No Perm 5, _ No Perm 5 on Instagram. Shout out to you. Thanks for sending me your mock draft. We got some trades in this one. A little bit of trade up, a little bit of trade down situation. He went one pick back, went to 26 to get Emeka Egbuka, which you can go one pick back and get Emeka Egbuka. That's a pretty good deal in my opinion. Then traded up in the 2nd round to get Jonah Savania from Arizona, the interior offensive lineman. Really like that pick if you're able to get him in the 2nd round. That is a steal in my opinion. Another Elijah Arroyo pick in the 3rd round. Trevor Etienne late, and Sebastian Castro, somebody who I heard did pretty decently at the Senior Bowl there, right? I mean, I love this one. I'm going to give this one an A-. No Perm 5. An A- for this mock draft. Good stuff on this one. Next one coming in from Keith Bohannon. And I know you sent me a couple ones, so I just went ahead and picked one of them out of the bunch. You went all O-line. Tyler Booker, You went the offensive tackle out of Minnesota, offensive tackle out of Rutgers, Indiana, Boston College, and then you got a wide receiver at the end, Deion Burks. I think Texans fans would absolutely hate this mock draft. I don't mind it. I don't mind. I don't think it's likely that they go O-line for their first 5 picks. I think that's pretty hilarious. You are highlighting a need at that point. You're saying, hey, we need offensive linemen, and in this draft you got them. So I'll give this one a C+. I don't hate it. I don't hate the idea. I think most Texans fans would hate it. I don't know if you need to. It seems like you're kind of going overkill right here. But hey, you do you. Obviously, you think the O-line needs some help. And speaking of the offensive line, during this offseason, how many Texans starting offensive linemen do you think get replaced? Because the only person who I think is 100% safe is Laramie Tunsil. Titus Howard as well. Could be starting at right tackle. Could be starting at left guard. Same with Blake Fisher. Center and right guard, in my opinion, are all the way up for grabs. So there's at least 2 right there. Let me know down in the comment section, how many different offensive linemen do you think we see next year for the Houston Texans starting on Sundays? Now, let's get into this next mock draft sent by Jeremiah. It's like the mustard. Here's the mock that he sent me on Instagram. He went Colston Loveland in the first round. To be completely transparent, I hate the idea of going tight end in round 1. I'm sorry. I just don't see the need. You have Cade Stover. You have Dalton Schultz on maybe if you trade Dalton Schultz away, but I don't know if anybody's willing to take that contract. You have Brevin Jordan already coming back as well. I don't see it as necessarily a huge need. I'd rather go wide receiver if you're going for a receiving option in round 1. I know the Texans' new OC, Nick Caserio, former tight end coach, but I don't think that necessarily means he's going to, jump at a great tight end in round 1. Gray Zabel, another popular pick there. I don't think Shamar Turner makes it to you in round 3. He was one of the stars of the Senior Bowl. If he does, that could save this mock draft a little bit for me. If you go Colston Loveland in round 1, but then you're saying, hey, we get Shamar Turner in round 3. Then we go, safety out of Ohio State with Lathan Ransom, Holland Pierce, offensive tackle out of Rutgers, and Theo Wees, wide receiver out of Missouri. Just because the tight end in round 1, I'm going to dock you just a little bit, because if you are going to go tight end in round 1, I'd much rather it be this next guy. So I'm going to give this one C+. We'll go C+ on this one. Next one up, you'll see what I'm talking about. Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren is the only tight end I'd be willing to take in round 1, just because at that point, the value might just smack you in the face of saying, hey, this might be a top 10, top 15 prospect that we're going to be able to get at pick 25. That's the only way I'm like, okay, yeah, tight end in round 1 makes sense. If you have somebody like that and there's nobody else on your draft board that's even close. And then I especially love the idea of going and getting Tate Ratledge in round 2, the offensive guard out of Georgia. I believe this one was sent by Julian, right? Julian Suazo. Yeah, I really love this mock draft. This actually might be my favorite mock draft of this show, because you get that, great prospect in round 1. Even though, like I said, I don't love tight end, but you get that, and then you also get Tate Ratledge in round 2. You get another, need with the wide receiver Tez Johnson in round 3. You go safety with Kevin Winston Jr. out of Penn State. Get a couple Nittany Lions in this mock draft, and then DeMonte Capehart, defensive lineman out of Clemson. I'm going to give this one an A, a solid A for this mock draft. I like this idea. Y'all need to obviously fill some holes in free agency if this is your mock draft. Maybe, more help on the defensive side, some cornerback help, some safety help, maybe some defensive line help in free agency. But I like the idea of this mock draft. Every single mock that you saw in today's video was sent to me through social media, either on X at Jeremy Chuggs, on my IG at Texans Today CS, or on my TikTok at Jeremy Chuggs. So hit me up on whatever social media you have. Let's connect. Let's talk ball. Let's talk shop. My DMs are always open. Hit me up on social media if you ever want to talk some Texans football.